What is going on, traders? In this video, I quickly want to touch up on displacement versus a sweep of liquidity. I see that a lot of ICT traders, they know all about liquidity and they still get trapped into liquidity traps. Now, why is that? Well, they are very focused on specific points, and when these specific points get liquidated, for example, in this video right here, I will be talking about this entry that one of my community members actually took. So what do we see? We have a mitigation of a fair value gap. Then we mitigate that fair value gap as well. And then right here, we can see that we actually sweep liquidity from that previous low right here. So at this point, what was this user doing? He was waiting for a market structure shift. Now, right here, this person said this is a market structure shift. And the entry was right here on this specific candle. So this was where the entry was on this fair value gap that is actually in discount. And then I think the stop loss was something like this, targeting the highs again. Now, if we actually take a closer look, what do we know about displacement? Displacement means that the market is showing its hand that it really wants to continue higher. And what do we know about liquidity? A sweep of liquidity is characterized by price quickly pushing above a certain level. For example, right here where the market structure shift is indicated, we push above that level and have a really strong reaction to the downside. This indicates that this is not a market structure shift with displacement. This indicates that this is actually a liquidity sweep. And what do we see? Price pushes down and takes this user out of the trade. Now, if we actually take a look, what we can see is that right here, so let's first correct this. We can see that this is actually a sweep of liquidity. And then right here, what we can characterize is that we have a market structure shift, right? Because we swept liquidity, had a really strong reaction. We have that market structure shift with a closure below. That's clearly indicating with high momentum that it is closing below. And I'm not talking about this candle right here. I am talking about this group of candles. So what could we then do? We could then grab the FIB tool. And what do we see? Around equilibrium, we have a fair value gap. So this would be a point where you could take an entry because now we have everything we need. We have the strong displacement, we have that break below a previous low, and now we can target, for example, some low-hanging fruit for around 2R. In this case, we didn't get filled, but as you can see, this position makes way more sense. You really need to read the market at all times, know the difference between being the liquidity and capitalizing on the liquidity. In this case, this is really not a market structure shift. This is a sweep of liquidity. So always make sure that there is enough displacement and always take note of trades that fail, especially if you afterwards notice that it was actually a sweep of liquidity instead of a market structure shift. That is it for this quick video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.